I made the decision no one else dared to. Stop watching the newest episodes of Kaguya-Lover's War and Spy X Family. But why? Hey folks, it's Keebs over on Westside Otaku, and yeah, it's been a while. I haven't posted too much here, and this video kind of might have to do with that. Current anime and I have kind of taken a little breather. And in the past couple months, there's kind of been this drastic change that I've started to really lean into and embrace. And in order to explain how that happened and to get the big takeaway of this video instead of just me going on a rant, I'd like to go to my introduction of anime. I didn't realize what anime was until I finally watched Bleach. Bleach was honestly my gateway anime that made me start to think, what is anime and what is this art form? Because I've seen it in Dragon Ball Z and I don't even remember what else besides Dragon Ball Z, but Bleach got me in. And once I started to learn what it was, I would watch a lot of stuff, but particularly shonens. Like, I was a shonen boy. And because I was into shonens, there was a lot of episodes to watch. And this is before anime became as mainstream and massive as it is today. But there were still, it's shonen. Shonens are long-running anime that have tons of filler. And there was a lot of episodes to watch. And the way I would approach it is let it build up. Because, I found out, Japan, they have, episodes way before we do in America and dub. So if you want to watch them, find ways of watching it from Japan. Ways, quotation marks. But even with those ways, I wanted to let episodes build up. I wanted to have them finish a season or an arc or maybe 20 to 30 episodes and then jump back in and be able to watch it all at once, because it kept me engaged constantly and I could watch it at my leisure. If I wanted to watch more than one episode, I could. It kept me in whatever was going on in the story. If Naruto was in his fight with Deidara in Shippuden, I wouldn't have to wait week by week to see that fight finish. It could last the week instead of me having to wait week by week. And that was a really nice thing, especially in the shonen world where everything was to be continued constantly. But my love for Bleach, as well as Ouran High School Host Club, hashtag bring back Ouran. Check out this video. Please watch that if you have not yet. But Ouran and Bleach were really my introductions to anything current. And that was reading the mangas. I would go on websites, read the mangas because I needed to know what happened next. I need to see it. And Ouran never got it season 2. Again, hashtag bring back Ouran. But Bleach was still going, and I would have to deal with the filler arcs. I became too impatient when I loved these two shows, still to this day, two of my all-time favorites. And that's what introduced me to current manga reading. In terms of watching, the only thing that I ever would watch week by week was Red vs. Blue. But that was really it. Red vs. Blue was the only thing I would watch week by week. Otherwise, I would let my shonens pile up, and Ouran and Bleach were really only things I would do that was current. And I lived like that for a solid 10 years, I was just enjoying watching anime at my leisure, every now and then maybe hearing about something good that people are checking out, and it just would be my venture and nobody else's. It wasn't until I recorded something for YouTube, and that was my Clannad reaction. My Clannad reaction became such a viewed thing before my channel got hijacked, and it led to people leaving comments like, hey, you should check out Anohana, you should check out Your Lie in April, because they all just wanted to see me cry, like they saw me cry there. But that's what started to get me rolling on seeing new stuff. And these were all recent things at the time. I think it was 2014. Yeah, Anohana was a couple years old. But still, I was seeing things that, I never really thought to see thanks to these requests. So, FYI, please keep leaving requests, because that's how I can discover some dope stuff. Please keep doing that. People stop doing that. Please keep doing that. But seeing those requests, as well as, checking out these new animes, that were newer instead of just at my leisure, and, seeing people involved with it and seeing me become part of the community, that's what started to draw me into being in the current world. Because the joys of being with the current community is people talking about it. People are talking about it week by week. They're talking about it right after and how it, how big it was or whatever. and they're wanting a sequel, you know, it's those moments. It makes me feel like going to the Marvel premieres. I always, up until the Endgame, would go to nearly every MCU movie from Marvel Studios. I would go to it at its premiere night show. But that's because I want to be one of the first people to watch it and be with all the people as they talk about it and listen to all the spoiler talks. There was something about that made me feel like I was part of something instead of me just tuning in after. But in terms of anime, it wasn't really until Dragon Ball Super and My Hero Academia. Of course, Shonen Boy. Shonen Boy is back. If you get me in any way, it's a shonen. And those are the two shows that started to transition me to watching stuff that was current, that was going on. And I would live life like that for 5 years, having usually 1 to, I think the record was 8 different shows that I would bounce back and forth between every week and watch as new episodes came out. That was for a solid 5 years. So what happened to change that? When I sat down to think about this video, I was trying to think what was the seed to cause this change of that perspective happening? And I'm pretty sure it was Haikyuu. Haikyuu, if you don't know, is a fantastic anime. Whether you're not into sports or not, it don't matter. It's a fantastic anime. You should totally check it out. I think first 2 seasons are on Netflix. All of it's on Crunchyroll, whatever. But I don't know. I just felt like checking it out for some reason on Netflix at the time. It was on Netflix. And I got insanely addicted. It became one of the most binge-hard shows I have seen in years. It's hard to stop when the tournament matches started rolling. Luckily, there was 3 seasons to watch. But once I finished all the seasons, I felt like shit. Of course, I'd see that the 4th season was going to be happening in 2020, and it did, and I couldn't help it. I added that to my repertoire of animes to watch in 2020 that were current, and that did become my anime of the year for 2020, the 4th season. But that was one of the most painful. You know what? I'm going to go on a limb. That was the most painful season of anything I ever had to watch week by week. That was not fun to watch week by week, because Haikyuu is a sports anime. It's about volleyball. And I understand slice of life's anime, they're much different, because you're just tuning in on a weekly nice break or whatever. There's perfect examples of that, like Laid Back Camp. Laid Back Camp is the perfect week by week show to watch. The thing about Haikyuu though, those matches are so intense, you do not want to stop watching it. It's just awesome, awesome, awesome. And watching it week by week, imagine watching the championship sports game for the Super Bowl, I don't know, and you have to spread that match out over the course of 2 months. Garbage. So when I think about anime that did this, I really think that was the deep-seated thing, because that was 2 years ago. And ever since then, I have been an avid gamer. I love playing games, and now I have all 3 systems as well as Xbox Game Pass. So because of those reasons and occasionally dabbling into my PC, there's just too much crap to play. I started to feel like I was in a race there, and then these subscription services now with HBO and Disney Plus, including Netflix and Funimation joining Crunchyroll. It just there's so much content to consume today, and we went from a world of discovery, where I would just hear something on the grapevine and just choose to tune into it, to now a world of keeping up. It feels like a world of keeping up with whatever's going on, and it becoming this intense rat race. And don't get me wrong, I still really enjoyed things. I listed an example earlier, but Fruits Basket and Attack on Titan are my prime examples of 2 anime I was just loving every week, and I couldn't not stop watching it. Part of me wanted to, but golly, when I rewatched the 2nd season of Fruits Basket all at once, and actually I rewatched both seasons, it was so much more nice. There were shows for sure that were drastically better when I got to rewatch them at my own pace. That was Re:Zero and Promised Neverland. Promised Neverland season 1 was still my anime of the year when I watched it week by week. But after like the rewatch and being able to watch it at my own pace, it was twice as good. And ReZero Season 2, I have told people, is like the masterpiece I didn't understand. And that's just because the week-by-week format of it just made it hard to keep everything intact. I did a video earlier this year about how the spring season is going to be like one of the most hyped seasons for me, period. Because Spy X Family, I don't think I've been as anticipating a first season for a show, like, ever. And I freaking adored Kaguya Love is War and Komi-san Can't Communicate. I really love those two animes. So like getting more of those two and Spy X Family, it was just exciting. And as I was enjoying Spy X Family and Kaguya Love is War, I started Komi-san Season 2 while I had all these conflicting thoughts I mentioned, and I cut it off. Like 5 minutes into the first episode of Season 2 for Komi-san, I could tell this was going to be another show that I'm going to enjoy the first time through, but I'm probably going to really enjoy during the rewatch. It was another show that I would feel I'd have to be keeping up with in order to talk to people about it. And from a content creator side as well, this is something that many will know out there if they do content on YouTube. You kind of always have to be like one of the first people to do it. Otherwise, you don't pop out. So during the first episode of Komi-san's new season, I decided to just cut it all off. No more current anime. Just watch anime that you want to watch and just pick one and go with it. And ever since then, things have just been a lot more leisure. I'm not playing pinball anymore or bouncing around between stuff. And I just know since I've done this, I enjoyed checking out Moon Knight. I've been taking my time with Elden Ring instead of trying to speed through it to get to something else, because it's kind of a little bit applying my game world as well. And I finally, after all these years, have actually been trying to finish the Kimi ni Todoke manga. I've been meaning to do that for so long. And even though I enjoyed parts 1 through 3 of JoJo, I never got to part 4, finished part 4. I did all those things while waiting for the 3 shows I said before to finish their seasons. And now I have restarted Kaguya Love is War. Because I know by the time I finish it, season 3 will be wrapped. I would like to just be able to watch all 3 of these seasons at my leisure, because I feel like season 3, shiz is going to go down. So let's just experience the entire thing. And that was a great decision, because I got to see sick Kaguya again.
Hanabi?
For now, it's been nice to kind of regress back to my old ways and just check out stuff I find interesting or I hear a lot of stuff about. But what is there really to take away from this? Yeah, it is great when you're current to be able to talk with people about the show. It does pain me when I played Breath of the Wild like a month after everybody else did, and I was gushing about it for like the rest of the year, but nobody wanted to talk about it anymore because they played it. And then there's the other side where if you're not current with stuff, you get to watch and play stuff at your leisure and just go with it, but you're also behind. The thing that is absolute is that there is more than enough anime to consume these days. There's too much anime to consume these days with not enough time. And it's your decision how much anime you watch, how fast you consume it, and especially why you're doing it. Always do it for yourself instead of feeling like you're being caught in this race like I was. You might be someone that really enjoys bouncing around between these shows and being involved in these communities, or being one of the first to watch it, to be able to share your opinion with folks that haven't seen it. Don't be one of those people that's doing it for a reason that isn't mostly about you just wanting to watch a good show that you were interested in. Sometimes you have to surrender that pressure of whatever you're trying to stay up to date with and just ask yourself, what do you want? Like, what matters most to you? And just live day by day in the present, do what you can in that moment, and just enjoy yourself. But yeah, in terms of current anime, One Piece is a way of life for me at this point. But don't worry, that doesn't mean I'm not going to be putting anime content here that people want, but I need to know that from you. I need to see those comments. I need to see those requests. I need to see those hopes that you might have. And if we get enough of it, then the community poll can help me decide, as well as the patrons who can kind of get that exact episode maybe, or that exact thing. Patrons, thank you so much for making this possible. They are the people that keep supporting this content. The A-class folks and the S-class folks, I think like Steffi, Capone, Titus, CB. Thank you guys for being those top tier supporters. But everybody else on Patreon for supporting the channel. And thank you for checking out this video. What animes are you watching? And don't forget to be geek, be proud, be awesome at your own pace.